This is Mark Giuliano, appointed Investigation Officer of the Australian Investigations Agency. It is 2:53 p.m. on the 2nd of January 2020. This is a record of interview with Terry Sullivan, employee of the AIA. This interview is to be undertaken under the authority delegated to me by the AIA's Chief Executive Officer, Dave McDonald. Terry, welcome. Can I just confirm your permission for us to record this interview?
Yes, I give you permission.
Thank you. Now, can I also just confirm that prior to undertaking this interview that I informed you of your right to have a support person attend, and that you declined to take up this offer, so you're happy and willing to be here on your own. Can you just confirm that?
Yes, I confirm that's correct.
Thank you. Another one of your rights is that I commit to provide you with a written transcript of this interview upon completion, so you can expect that, and we'll talk more about that towards the end of the interview. In terms of the process, this is a formal interview, and as I said, being executed under the authority delegated to me by the CEO. What I propose to do is to ask you a series of formal questions. My expectation and hope would be that you would answer those honestly, and I encourage you to elaborate on any of your answers as much as you need to. So, can I, just before we kick off into the formality of the interview, can you just confirm that you are Terry Sullivan, and that you are employed by the AIA as an IT support officer and have been in the employment of the agency for 3 years?
Yes, I confirm. My name is Terry Sullivan, 38 years old, and I'm an IT support officer with the AIA and have been for the last 3 years and 2 months.
Thank you. Okay, so as you're aware, the purposes of this interview is, this interview has been necessitated to present to you a formal allegation that at approximately 10 a.m. on the 30th of December 2019, you entered the office of Paul Branson, accounts clerk, and stole $50 cash. Specifically, the allegation is that you picked up a clip seal bag from the desk which contained 50 $1 coins, put that in your right trouser pocket, and exited the office. If the allegation is proven, this may constitute a breach of the Australian Public Service Code of Conduct. So having presented that allegation to you, is there anything you want to say in response to that?
Yeah, can you just refresh me on what the day was that in question?
So the allegation is that this occurred at approximately 10 a.m. on the 30th of December 2019, so three days ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can confirm from my memory that I was at work that day, and I'm pretty sure I was. I don't know if it's the right day, but I think it was that. I went down to see Peter about setting up a new IT account for my notebook, and I went down there maybe, I would say maybe 11 o'clock, 11:15 on that day, and I knocked on his door and he wasn't around, so I left and thought I'll come back later and see him.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know anything about what you're talking about, and I didn't go into his office or anything, so I'm not sure where these allegations are coming from.
Okay. So can I just, if I wasn't already clear, in terms of the process, a range of evidence has been examined. Other witnesses have been interviewed prior to this interview, and you are now being interviewed as a suspect. So the allegations are presented against you. So hopefully I made that clear. Did I make that clear?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Okay, so in terms of the other evidence that's been examined, you indicated that your recollection is that you were at work that day. Payroll records confirm that you were.
Mm-hmm.
So that's lining up. The other thing I'd like to present to you is that your security swipe card shows that you entered the floor where Peter's office is at 10:02 a.m. on that day. And you indicated 11 to 11:15. Is there any particular event that made you think it was 11 or 11:15?
Oh, no, it was just an estimate a few days ago, so I know it was the morning, and I thought it was sort of mid to late morning, so I thought about 11 o'clock, 11-ish.
Do you recall swiping in, or did you tailgate in behind someone else?
No, I swiped in.
You swiped in?
Yeah.
Because the system records show that you only swiped into the floor once that day. So if you visited the floor more than once, you must have, someone must have held the door open for you on other occasions. But are you saying you only entered the floor once?
Yeah, from my memory. It's,
Okay.
a couple of days ago, but I'm pretty sure.
So as I say, the system records would indicate that was 10:02.
Okay, so that might be the time.
Yep, okay.
I'm not sure, but if that's what it says, that's what it says. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
I now want to show you document 001. This is a photograph of Peter's office and Peter's desk.
Mm-hmm.
Can you confirm that that's what that is?
Yes, it looks like Peter's office. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Now you say that you approached his office and he wasn't in there. Do you recall seeing anything out of the ordinary on his desk?
No. I popped my head in to look to see if he was there, and he wasn't there. So I thought to myself, I'll come back later.
Okay. Now, I just want to confirm a few other things. Apologies for not having done this earlier. You mentioned that you are 38 years of age.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how tall you are?
176 centimetres.
76?
Yep.
Okay. And I would describe you as having dark hair. Would you agree with that?
Yes, medium brown.
Have you ever coloured your hair?
No.
And I notice you're clean shaven today. Can you confirm that?
Yes.
Have you shaved in the past few days?
Yes.
And when was the last time you shaved?
This morning.
And have you had a when was your last shave prior to that?
Or maybe 2 days before.
Okay, so on the 30th of the 30th of December, the alleged date of the event,
Mm-hmm.
fair to say you were clean shaven.
Yes.
Certainly didn't have a beard.
No.
Okay, and on that day, do you remember what you were wearing that day?
Oh gosh. Well, generally I'll be in my black pantsuit. It's pretty hot, so usually I've just got my black pants and black shoes. And usually on the hot days I'll just have a shirt and generally a tie.
So do you specifically recall if you were wearing a tie that day? The Bureau of Meteorology records tell me that the maximum that day was 28 degrees. Do you think you would have worn a tie that day?
Well, generally I wear a tie to the office unless it's sort of a casual event day, so I would assume that I would say I was wearing a tie.
You wouldn't happen to remember the design of the tie?
Oh, no, sorry.
Can I ask you then, do you own a striped tie?
Yes, I own several striped ties.
Okay, thank you. Do you... I understand that you what might be described as a recreational gambler?
Oh, depends what you mean by recreational. I like to have a bit of a flutter here and there.
Would you say you have a problem?
I don't know. It depends what you classify as a problem. My level of gambling, has impacted on my capacity to do certain things in life, but I'm working through it. But I don't think it's impacting on my capacity to do my job at work or impacting me on any other level.
Okay. Do you remember on this particular day when you approached Peter's office, do you remember seeing a tradesman nearby?
Not that I remember, no.
A ladder?
Don't think so, no.
No. Okay. There was an electrician working just outside Peter's office most of that day. He started at 9 in the morning, and while you didn't see him, he saw a person walk into Peter's office at around 10 a.m. He's described a male person with physical characteristics that align with yours, and my investigation thus far has been unable to identify another male employee in the finance section that fits that nominated description. So is there anything you want to say at this point?
I think I know where you're going with this, and I think you've gathered the evidence to suggest that I was in the office, and I guess under the purposes of this process now, I need to probably be truthful and let you know that I was in the office at that time, and that I'm not proud of it, but I did actually take the money bag, and I deeply regret it, and I'm not sure why I did it, and I'm not sure why I haven't been forthcoming until now about my actions, but clearly you've been able to ascertain that it was me, and it's time for me to present the truth.
Thank you, Terry. So can you then just tell me what you saw when you walked into the office?
My intentions were to go there around setting up a new IT account, so that much of the of my earlier disclosure is true. I'd gone there to talk about setting up a new account for my notebook, and when I sort of went to the office, I saw all this money on the table, sort of spread out across the table, and sort of looked around and there wasn't anyone around, so I just grabbed the bag and walked out.
So did you take all the money on the desk?
No, I just took what was in the bag.
So why did you choose to leave the rest of it behind?
Because it was all across the table and it was all spread out everywhere, and I was afraid that someone would catch me, and it might have made a lot of noise if I was trying to sort of pull the money, and it was just opportunistic to pick up the bag off the table in one sort of quick action, and I popped it into my pocket and walked out.
So can I just confirm that you are saying that at about 10 a.m. on the 30th of December 2019, you, Terry Sullivan, entered the office of Peter Branson, accounts clerk, picked up a bag of coins that you later found out to include 50 $1 coins that was in a clip seal bag, that you placed that bag in your pocket and exited the office.
Yes, that's correct. Can I just add that I've been here for 3 years and 2 months, and I've never done anything wrong, and I'm deeply remorseful for what I've done. But yes, that's what happened. Yep.
Okay. Now, are you familiar with Finance Manager Wayne Harris?
Yes, I know Wayne. Yep.
How close would you describe your personal relationship?
Oh, we're just professional colleagues.
Do you remember him phoning, or were you aware that he phoned Peter just moments before Peter exited the office at 10:02 a.m?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Okay. Unfortunate timing, it would seem. Okay, is there anything else that you wanted to say before we conclude the formal interview?
No, not really.
Okay, so look, thank you, Terry, for your cooperation. As I indicated earlier, you'll be provided with a formal written transcript of this interview, and you'll be requested to sign that off as a true and fair view of the interview, as a formal record of interview, and as a signed statement on your behalf, admitting to the allegation as stated. Interview concluded at 3:10 p.m.